You couldn't even get them any authentic pizza. You had to get them Pizza Hut. Clock it. Kendal and Nicole. I totally do not think Leah took a back seat. If Andrea was sitting in any seat that night, it was going to be the seat of accountability. Clock it. One of the biggest moments in Love Island Season 6 USA history. Clock it. Should I change this channel's name to Clock It? I think I should. Hi you all, welcome back to Bubbly and Banter. I am your host Janae. We are getting into Love Island USA Season 6 reunion. Before we hop in, like, comment, and subscribe to the Bubbly and Banter tribe. We're lit over here. I want to continue popping out content, and I want to hear what you all have to say about the things we're watching as I review, do a recap on some of our favorite shows. So with that said, let's get into this reunion, you all. Their outfits were so bomb. Janae looked beautiful. I loved everything about her look, honestly, and I'm not just saying that because my name is Janae too. Daya, she looked beautiful as well. I really loved her hair. Catherine looked really nice. Everybody's glam team was really good for this reunion. Hopping straight into the tea, I immediately saw the tension between all of the Islanders pretty much right when they came out. It's been a lot going on outside of the show. Kenny and Janae, they're officially a couple, and that was a pleasant surprise for me because I'm not gonna lie, I was truly wondering if Kenny and Janae really liked each other. I didn't really think Janae was into him like that. And then with Kenny on the show, sometimes it was hard for me to get a read on him. He wasn't letting too much in about how he truly felt. It could have just been how everything was edited. So I'm really happy to see that they've been lasting. It took for me to see how Janae reacted after Casa Amor to make me realize, oh, okay, actually, you know, she really does like him. When he came out with another girl and Janae was like, hold my mic. Iconic moment. Iconic. One of the biggest moments in Love Island Season 6 USA history. That's really when I saw that, oh, okay, Janae likes him. And now I'm starting to warm up to Kenny with her too. Even after Casa Amor, I was still kind of wondering, is Kenny really for Janae? Although he picked her over Catherine. So I'm happy to see that they've made it official. This just reinforces that they do have real feelings for each other, regardless of what I'm seeing or picking up on. Before they could even get another word out on anything else, Coy intervened and immediately apologized for, I guess, some of the comments that he had made toward Janae and Kendal. Apparently he was on live with Daya. He said apparently he felt like their relationship was fake. Did I say Kendal before? I meant to say Kenny. And that he only said that because he's seen Janae with so many people. He didn't know if this was real, but looking at them now, he does take his words back and he apologizes. So literally right out the gate, he apologized for that, and Janae accepted that apology. I know she had it out for him a little bit because Coy had been saying a few things here and there, which in my opinion were shady. When he went on to the After the Sun episode, to me it just gave a little bit bitter, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, he did apologize though for the things that he said about Janae and Kenny, which was smart because I feel like he wanted to speak on it first, because I'm sure he knew if Janae would have spoke on it first, she would have been coming with the heat. She would have been coming with the receipts like she did for Andrea, which we'll get into a little bit later. Honestly, with Coy, I feel like he could have been great on the show had he just opened himself up a little bit more. We didn't really know him for real. Coy may be a very fitting name for him, just in the fact that he actually may be shy. He's very nice eye candy. He's handsome. Yeah, just maybe put yourself out there more or whatever. Now, Miguel and Leah. Miguel revealed that he asked Leah to be his girlfriend. And I'll be honest and say as well that I didn't know if Leah and Miguel were even going to last. So this is nice to see, only because when it came to Casa Amor, Miguel was too hyped, too enthused to be going to Casa Amor. And then every single girl he saw, he was like, oh, this is my type. Miguel was doing a lot. Because of like how girl crazy he seemed, I didn't know if that would necessarily last, but it is refreshing to see that they're still getting on with each other, especially with him living in the UK. I think he lives in London, and Leah being in California. They have a long distance relationship going on, but it's nice to see that they've been communicating really good. He said that they have been having at least 2-hour FaceTime calls a day. He came to the United States for her birthday. I also appreciate his honesty for not rushing the L-bomb, because Ariana, she asked, she's like, so, you know, we have these couples, has anybody dropped the L-bomb yet? And although Kendal has, he dropped the L-bomb I think on the last episode of Love Island. Miguel came out and said, you know, like, they're taking their time, no rush to do anything like that. Everything is going to be moving at an authentic pace, at least from his end, which I think is very great, because in situations like the ones that they're in, I'm sure they receive so much pressure from viewers, from people even in the island shipping them, and it's just a lot. It's like you kind of have to center yourself, ground yourself, literally say, okay, what do I want? Where am I at naturally? Kendal and Nicole, I've been waiting on this one because it's been a lot of talk on if they're even still together. When the spotlight got on them, you could clearly see the tension. The tension was thick as thick. Ariana asked how they've been doing, and Kendal answered, and he said it's been tough, but they've been communicating. But Nicole was like, baby, she shot that right down. She said, actually, you haven't been communicating with me. And I'm like, oh, what happened? In case you were confused, because I definitely was, apparently Kendal lied to Nicole about a video that ended up coming out into the public. A video, if you get what I'm saying. Apparently he made this video 2 days before going into Love Island, and upon leaving Love Island it got exposed. When it came time for him to address everything with Nicole, he told her that it was a video that he made with his ex-girlfriend that came out to be a lie. It actually was a video that he made with a person that he met on a dating app. But the point is that he lied to Nicole, which is something that she did not take lightly at all, and you can clearly see in this reunion. He was trying to understand that he knows that he lied and he hurt her. She just could not wrap her head around the fact that he lied. Like, why did you lie? Why did you lie? Why did you lie? But you lied. I understand you love me, I understand you cared about me, but you lied. It's pretty much her stance on everything. So yeah, it's left the audience to make their own opinions, assumptions of what's been going on, because neither one of them truly directly spoke out about it. You have people assuming, saying things like she doesn't love him, she doesn't even want to be with him, she used him for the show, da, 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 da. Meanwhile, what we didn't see, which is what they had explained on the reunion, is that Kendal was literally asking all the islanders what he can do to help with him and Nicole, that the public is really coming down on him about this video, but he really wants to be with Nicole and that he loves Nicole. We're just not seeing this. And now that leads to where they are now, which is just chaotic, still in a tough place. My take on this, I do understand where Nicole is coming from as far as her not liking that she was lied to, but I do feel like she's disregarding everything that Kendal is going through in this moment, and it's coming off just a bit selfish, because while everybody is trying to get her to understand that Kendal truly does love her, he's just going through something right now. She's not trying to hear it, she's not trying to see it, she's just very focused on how she's feeling in that moment, which is clearly betrayed for being lied to and not defended publicly by him. I think they just really need to give each other grace in this moment, because it's coming off as Nicole not caring about anybody else's feelings but her own, and Kendal not knowing, I guess, what to do because of that. Because it's kind of like she just keeps saying, I was lied to, I was lied to, I was lied to, but it's like, okay, we get it, but at this point, is there even anything that he can do for you all to move forward? I'm not saying that what he did can be taken lightly, because it is something very major. I will say that I'm kind of even wondering if Nicole still does truly like him for real, because I'm even seeing this as an opportunity for her to just slide out of the connection. I just feel like, although that is major, you would have a little bit more grace for somebody that you truly do feel a connection for. I don't know, what do y'all think? You know, some people feel like they have to have a reason for leaving, so they're not looked at as the bad guy, and I'm wondering if that's what this is a little bit. It is a tough situation, I'm sure it has to be. He lied, and a lot of people can't look past that, and I think the fact that they're in the public going through all this, and they're continuously getting probably hate from both ends. I will say that I am happy Nicole is standing her ground, because just based off the show, I did get a bit of a vibe that Kendal has an ego and a bit of selfishness attached to him. So I'm just wondering, okay, say for instance, if Nicole was just like, okay, you know what, we can just move past this, I'm sticking beside you. I fear that if she did say something like that, Kendal would just take that and literally run with it. This situation just goes to show that it is so important to get to know your partner as much as you can while you're dating them. You truly don't know the things that they've done, what they've been through, their traumas. But I get it, it is Love Island. Days are like weeks in Love Island. I'm so happy Serena spoke. The camera actually caught her laughing at the situation, which I feel like is a Serena habit. If I really wanted to, I would literally go back into all the Love Island episodes and make a mini clip of every single time Serena has laughed in an awkward or tragic moment. I think that's just her thing. I don't know. They took a little break, and you see Kenny talking to Kendal, pretty much telling him that he handled the situation greatly. He pretty much said what was on his chest, and now the ball is in Nicole's court. And I was with Kenny all up until he said the ball is in Nicole's court. Yes, the ball may be in Nicole's court as far as if she wants to continue exploring her connection with Kendal, but that does not mean at this point you stop pursuing, you stop fighting for her, you just take a chill pill and give her space or whatever, because you see what space already got you in. I just don't like when men say that the ball is in your court, the ball is in the woman's court, the ball is in like they be wanting the ball everywhere but they court, because they don't be wanting to take accountability, responsibility, or apply that pressure where that pressure is needed sometimes. I feel like men tend to say that who aren't really comfortable having to take initiative, being assertive, more comfortable with having a dominant woman. Now I'm speaking in general, not even just relating this to Kendal and Nicole's situation. So Ariana asked Rob how he felt about being on the show. He said he felt like a dummy. What I truly think Rob's problem was, or one of them, was just not knowing how to articulate his feelings. It was almost like he could just never find the right words. Because of that, he would just resort to what sounded the most politically correct in that moment, what didn't step on the most toes in that moment, what the person may have wanted to hear in that moment. Meanwhile, his actions are saying a completely different thing. For instance, when Liv had first coupled up with him and how he was telling Leah, you know, it's always you, it's been you. Meanwhile, he's bringing both Leah and Liv breakfast. Meanwhile, he's sneaking Leah off to the dock to tell her how he feels about her while he's still with Liv. No, if you like her, say it with your chest. People was like, that scene was cute, but I think that scene was sneaky. I'm not gonna lie. Why are you sneaking the woman that you really want off to the dock to go talk to her? No, if you really want that woman, you make it known. Because if not, you need to tell both of them that you're actually exploring both connections. You don't tell Liv, yeah, I still want to see where it can go with you, but I'm into Leah, and then go and tell Leah that, yeah, Leah, you're my number one. That's not saying the same thing. You need to say the same exact thing to Liv as you're going to say to Leah. Same with Andrea. The talk that he had with Leah when he left off crying and then jumped in the pool and continued crying some more. I felt like he had found himself in such a situation to where he actually really liked Andrea and did not know how to express it to Leah. I just felt like a part of him felt a little bit guilty as well. That's one of the issues I think is with Rob, is just that he doesn't really articulate his feelings the best way he can. I feel like he holds back a bit just to tiptoe, beat around the bush, keep the gray area going, but ultimately it just ends up biting him in the foot, because at the end of the day a decision has to be made. You just have to be honest at some point. There were so many cases of that though, honestly, even with Leah and Connor. When Leah would talk to Connor, it's, oh, I really like you, we're doing good. Meanwhile, the rest of the villa knows that she does not like that man, because that's what she is telling them. You are on national television saying these things. Do you not think it's gonna come out eventually? Come on now. Maybe hard in that moment, but honesty is gonna save you every time. Honesty is gonna save you every time. It may be uncomfortable, but at least can't nobody say that you were a liar. At least can't nobody say that you weren't genuine. Back to Rob, even with his response to the question that Ariana asked him, which is, does he regret anything on the show? And he said yes and no. Yes, he regrets the pain that he may have caused the other women, but no, he doesn't regret it, because he felt like everything pretty much happened for a reason. And I felt like even that was a politically correct answer, because I understand his answer is his answer. I can't go and answer the question for him, because that could be how he truly feels. But a part of me just feels like he really has more to say that he's just not tapping into. A part of me feels like he is distraught for how Leah made him feel, what she said about him, calling him a B-word pretty much, mocking him. But it's like even his answers to that, the yes and no, just leaves a gray area for wondering, okay, how the heck does Rob really feel? Because everything is gray, everything is yes and no, everything is her and her. How do you feel, Rob? It's okay. Like, I was gonna say this is a safe space, but that is not no safe space, because you're gonna get clocked left and right. Literally everybody was getting clocked left and right on that reunion. Now the focus drifts towards Andrea, who says that she and Rob have not seen each other since the show, and how in the moment when she went home she was hurt, and that like everything that she did and that she said, all the emotions that she went through during that time, was simply because she was in that moment, and those are the height of the emotions in that moment. I'm not gonna lie, this girl didn't even get to completely finish her piece before Leah interrupted and pretty much called her a hypocrite, because on the After the Sun, Andrea did mention how she wouldn't have acted as Leah did with all those emotions that she had running high, like just all the things that she was saying. She would never conduct herself in that type of way. Meanwhile, you have Andrea going live on TikTok addressing everything, and I guess like just making comments that weren't the best on the situation, pretty much acting how Leah acted, but in Andrea's own way, in a way that she says that she would never act. So yeah, that led Leah to call her a hypocrite and remind her of how she said that she would never act that way. And then you have Janae chiming in with the receipts to clock Andrea even further, telling Andrea that it was very malicious for Andrea to call Leah two-faced. And literally from there, it was just a ripple effect of people throwing out their opinions of how Andrea had been acting on the show, her comments made on the show. Andrea was literally getting it from left and right. If Andrea was sitting in any seat that night, it was going to be the seat of accountability. They were not letting up. I do see where they were coming from as far as the comments that Andrea was making, because it very much gave arrogant. Like immediately when Andrea walked through the door, it very much gave, I'll take your man. It very much gave, I'll take your man and give him right back if I want to, and take him again. Although people say that it's not Friendship Island, it does pay to be a girl's girl on Love Island. You can be in a couple, but if you're not a girl's girl, you do risk a higher potential of being eliminated, because at the end of the day, it's the islanders that can save you from being eliminated at some of the eliminations. So yeah, arrogance doesn't always put you in the grace of others, and I know a bombshell is supposed to bombshell, but it's just about how you do it. She did apologize, and it seemed like a pretty heartfelt apology. I do feel like it was genuine in my opinion. But this just goes to show that when you're on national television, you have to be very mindful, very demure, very classy with your actions, because they can get clocked at any point in second. We are no longer in the days where people can do and say things and not be held accountable. We are no longer in the days to where it can be a whole bunch of he said, she said, and the person that came up with the he said, she said don't get put in a hot seat. We are no longer in the days where people can sweep messy things under the rug and not get clocked about it. Clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it. Should I change this channel's name to Clock It? I think I should. I don't know, I had a moment. Anyway, this also led to the infamous backseat situation. So you know, this was a really big thing on the show when it came down to when the girls had to choose either Janae, Nicole, or Andrea to be eliminated from the villa. Andrea was ultimately the one that ended up getting sent home. It was brought up that Leah said that she took a back seat to that decision. Leah said this to Rob, but then Rob had a conversation with Liv, who revealed that Leah in fact did not take a back seat to that situation. She was actually one of the most vocal ones in that decision. In the reunion, they even aired the actual scene, the fire pit scene, when they had to make the decision. Unedited, raw footage of the conversation the girls had when they had to choose whether it would be Janae, Nicole, or Andrea being sent home. After watching the clip, I'm not gonna lie, I totally do not think Leah took a back seat. It's clear that she didn't, regardless of what she meant by that. To me, it was clear that she was in favor of Andrea going home. Her reasoning seemed like it was due to Andrea being closed off with Rob, and her feeling that when you come to Love Island, you shouldn't just be immediately closed off. You should be open to other options and trying to explore, play the game of Love Island and see what you find out there. Utilize the options that you have. Then you have Liv feeling like just because she's made a connection with somebody doesn't necessarily mean she has to go home. I do feel like Liv was the only one making points that I felt like were valid. When it came to Kayla, it seemed like she was just easily swayed back and forth, whether it was Nicole one minute, Andrea the next. But if I had to say it looked like anybody took a back seat, I will honestly say it was Serena. She said a few things, but it wasn't much. Overall, I think the truth is that the girls didn't like the vibe that Andrea came in with. Andrea came in very arrogantly. I do wish Ariana would have asked the rest of the cast what they thought about the video, because right after it went off, you literally had Leah as the first person to speak, pretty much defending her stance in the conversation, saying that she never deliberately tried to send Andrea home and that she never even said her name. But honestly, it's obvious she was in favor for Andrea, in my opinion at least, because you don't necessarily have to say Andrea's name for people to get that, okay, that's who you would prefer to get sent home over the other person. But yeah, like I was saying, Leah's reasoning in that conversation just didn't make sense. The actual conversation at the fire pit, I mean, she said something like, this isn't couple island and Andrea seems closed off to Rob. But isn't that what Love Island is about? Are you not vulnerable if you're not in a couple? We've seen throughout this entire season 6 of USA how it can suck if you're having to constantly go from couple to couple. Leah has went through it. Janae has went through it. It's not the best situation that you want to be in when it comes to a show like this. You're always at risk of being eliminated. And then it's like in your downtime when all your friends are with their couple, who do you talk to for real? You know, it's kind of like you're constantly third wheeling with everybody. I didn't really get that point that she was trying to make. It's like, yes, of course, keep your options open even if you are in a couple, but you're not sold on that. But I just didn't get her reasoning as that being the main reason why Andrea should have went home. No. Or no, it just didn't make sense. I felt like Andrea really just ended up being the person that they ended up calling because they ran out of time. Like, it was just like, okay, whatever, it's Andrea. But had they have talked a bit more without the pressure of being on a time limit, maybe they would have actually came to the realization that, I don't know, sending Andrea home may make the best sense. You may not agree with some of her character traits, but when it comes to her connection with Rob, that's what you have to base that on. Or that's what I thought they would have had to base it on. So yeah, I just didn't understand that point. Like I said, I wish Ariana would have opened the floor to the rest of the Islanders to see how they felt about the fire pit scene, because I wanted to know what everybody else's opinion was. But we really only heard from Leah and a bit of Kaylor and Liv on the situation. Daya also expresses how she appreciates Serena for not going on podcasts and really dragging the situation into a hot drama-filled mess, which I feel like is very mature of both of them to do. And even just shedding a little bit more light on Daya, I really loved how she was just always true to herself and her actions in Love Island. Yes, she did come in as a bombshell. Yes, she did point out that she wanted Cordell from the get-go, and yes, she did take it there with him. But throughout their entire experience, what I gathered from it was that she was always truthful. She was always giving updates. She wanted the updates too so she could stay in the loop, and she wasn't lying about anything. She was just very mature. She didn't really get out of her body about anything, like super overly aggressive for any reason. I mean, she was a little petty when she wanted to make it a thing where she cut off Cordell before he got to cut off her, although she knew it was coming. Regardless of that, she, to me, carried herself very truthfully. She came in as a bombshell, she bombshelled, and she left. Which is crazy. Like, literally every bombshell that came in there ended up leaving. Every bombshell that came from Casa Amor at least ended up leaving. Like, nobody actually stayed with who they came in with. Then it flashes to all the Islanders taking a little break behind the scenes, and what I really liked that production did in this reunion was show the behind the scenes aspect of some of the Islanders and their conversations about how, you know, they're real people with real feelings, and although the viewers have this perception of them based off of the Love Island show, that doesn't necessarily mean that's who they truly are to their core. I like how they even gave the hotline bullying for anybody that would need it, because I can only imagine how mentally testing and chaotic this must be for the Islanders to literally go in there. Like Leah said she went into Love Island with 12,000 followers and currently now has almost 3 million. Imagine how overwhelming that could possibly be. 3 million people watching you and having opinions on everything that you're doing. Bullying doesn't always have to come with the territory. Really, exposure just comes with the territory, I feel like. And people just bully for their own reasons. That's what they choose to do. But I don't think anybody signs up to be in a position like that to be bullied. So when people be like, this is what you signed up for, you signed up to be talked crap about, to be bullied, to be harassed, to be scrutinized, nobody willingly signs up for that. Let's be real. That's the people who view these celebrities or whatever. That's what they choose to do to them. But no celebrity is just willingly signing up for that. Nobody wants to go through that for the rest of their life. Come on now. They signed up for the exposure or to express their talent, and unfortunately the bullying and the harassment can be one of the things that come with that based on the actions of the bulliers and the scrutinizers. It doesn't mean that what a celebrity do is always right, but I mean, is it really the job of everybody to just clock things disrespectfully like they do? It's not. So yeah, I do like how the producers just shed light to them behind the scenes. Good job, production. What I didn't like though was how I saw them eating Pizza Hut. You got them flying to New York. Production clearly has a higher budget now. They're in these fancy gowns, came dressed down to the nines, literally, and y'all got them eating Pizza Hut in the back y'all couldn't provide a buffet and a open bar for them? Or did they provide an open bar? I don't know if they provided an open bar, but I know they dang on provided Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut, if y'all don't go get them some New York cuisine, something like that. I'm not even from New York, but I know New York does have some good food. You couldn't even get them any authentic pizza. You had to get them Pizza Hut. Anyway, so the reunion wraps up with a couple audience questions, one being, will Rob ever retire his overalls? And honestly, I actually like the overalls. I'm not gonna lie, I just ordered me some about a week ago and I'm very excited to wear them. I like Rob's style personally, and he clearly likes it too because he says the overalls are staying. That's pretty much where everything just wraps up. What I will say about the reunion is that I don't think they got in depth with everything like they could have. They actually didn't cover a lot of things that I wanted them to cover. They probably had a select few of non-negotiable topics that they know they were going to talk about, but the things in between, which may have been small to them but were very big, I feel like to a lot of the viewers, weren't getting talked about. Hakeem was there and he said not one word the entire time, but I think somewhere on social media I heard that he actually wanted to clock a few things himself. We also didn't get to see Janae clock Connor, which is what I heard she wanted to do via social media. Nora was light shed on how Leah was literally telling Connor one thing and the whole villa something completely different. We didn't hear much from Cordell at all, and he was literally one of the winners of the show. But I don't know, I get the vibe that Cordell was kind of over the situation, that he didn't want to talk about it at all. I got the vibe from a lot of people that they just really didn't even want to tap into it for real. Congratulations though on his Cheez-It sponsorship. This is random and it just came to mind, but one thing that really attracted me to Love Island when I first started watching it a few years ago was how authentic it was. Now I feel like, you know, the budget is probably getting higher and higher. Production is stepping in a bit more possibly, but I just hope they don't get too produced eventually, because authenticity is everything nowadays. Like I said, I do wish they would have gotten to a few more things on the reunion, but I'm sure they were on a time crunch. There's only so much that you can talk about. But that wraps up my Love Island USA season 6 reunion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I truly want to know. And like I said, if you do want me to rewind it back and do recaps of some of the episodes from this USA season 6, then let me know, because I definitely will. We won't get another USA season until summer of 2025. Ariana said it on the reunion. In the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the video your thoughts. Turn your post notifications on for Bubbly and Banter so that you don't miss any updates and videos from me. Also follow the Bubbly and Banter Instagram and TikTok. I would love to chat it up with you over there. And there is where you can also see some of my short form, straight to the point content on the videos that I do here. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoy your time here with me, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Mwah.